Nino, I have a question for you, and it's going to lead us perfectly into our next segment.
Talk to me.
How come every time we do these transfer portal updates, we never see Clemson?
You know why, right?
I'll answer that later.
You know why. But that's why it's the flame is it's starting to go from orange to blue. Okay?
Yeah.
Blue is hot.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you want to talk about Garrett Riley's impact?
Yeah, I mean, I just figured you just gave me this Steph Curry alley-oop. I'm going to have to throw it down, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so for me, listen, the impact that Garrett Riley's had in his career outside of being a quarterback has always been positive, okay? He was QB at Texas Tech, and Stephen F. Austin never threw a ball, never got in a game, none of that. But as a gentleman, when you're a backup QB, right, you just study. This is what you do, waiting for your moment. And you don't get that moment, you just soak in the knowledge. You can break down plays in your sleep. This dude was probably breaking down offensive schemes while he was sleeping at night. All right, 2011, he got his opportunity to be a QB coach for Roosevelt High School in Texas. They went 3-7. 2012, Augustine College gave him in Illinois, gave him the running backs coach. They were 5-5. Now, 2013 into 2014, these Carolina Pirates decided, you know what? We're going to bring you in as an assistant first year, 10-3. Second year, right? Under his brother Lincoln Riley as OC, 8-5. Okay, now, brother takes off, goes through his thing. 2015 happens, East Carolina. He is the offensive wide receivers coach. They go 5-7. But a man in that offense that he schemed up goes to the NFL, and he just dogged out against the Chargers this weekend in the NFL. That man is Zay Jones. 98 receptions, 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns under Garrett Riley. 2016, right? He goes to Kansas, gets opportunity in a bigger program. Offensive assistant. They go 2-10. Now, Kansas, if you don't know, it has nothing to do with Riley. Kansas Jayhawks football has been bad for a long time. Okay, they were just recently good the last 2 seasons. Correct,
Exactly.
KT?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's not hate on it because I'm about to say another stat on a team that went 1-11 on a guy you probably didn't even know existed. His name is Peyton Bender, and he got this man, right? And he only played half the season, 1,700 yards, 10 touchdowns, 10 picks, okay? Half a year. Okay. 2018, Kansas becomes his tight end and fullbacks coach. They go 3-9. Like I said, Kansas program is not a very good football team. They've just recently got better. 2019, right? Appalachian State says, I'm going to give you the running backs coach. You're the dude. They go 13-1. This gentleman that I'm about to speak about goes to the NFL and has had glimpses of being a dude. Maybe not a bell cow running back, but he has come in for many times Derrick Henry and other guys. That's Darrington Evans, 255 attempts, 1,480 yards, 18 touchdowns under Garrett Riley's offense. He's a running back coach. This comes straight out of him, okay? 2020 to 2021, SMU. They say, all right, we're going to make you the OC QB coach. 2020, 7-3. 2021, 8-4. They average 41.8 points per game, 544 yards of offense, and a quarterback that you don't know by name is Shane Bellucci threw for 4,000 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions under Garrett Riley. We all know what they did this year in 2022, right? TCU, he was OC quarterbacks coach. He won, the Broyles Award in 2022. They averaged 39 points per game, just a point shy. They're almost 4,000 passing yards, 8.6 yards per attempt, 33 touchdowns. They had almost 3,000 rush yards, another 37 touchdowns on the ground. That's 455 yards of offense per game. Clemson last year, 6 points less, 700 yards less per offense, 9 touchdowns less, 45 yards per offense per game less. They are only going to get better. He is going to utilize the people on that offense the correct way. KT, get him.
So, first and foremost, I think the first thing that we need to say about Garrett Riley is everybody say, oh, that's Lincoln Riley's little brother. No, this guy knows the game. If you look at what he's done, and Nino did a fantastic job of letting you know what he's done the last 5-6 years. All he did is went on a sabbatical and he learned how to coach from a myriad of positions. He also went to different programs, had some successes, had some hard lessons, but this is how you learn to coach. Let's talk about a little bit more about his scheme. He likes to run a lot of that 10 personnel. That's 4 wide receivers, 1 running back, tight zone runs. Well, how does that work within a 10 personnel? Well, it works perfectly because the offensive line is typically matched up with only 5 defenders, 5v5. I like that. That's how you get huge rushing lane. Also, which forces a lot of teams to add that 6th defender in the box. Then that does what? Open up the passing game. So he's a numbers guy. Garrett Riley is purely a numbers guy. He also runs a lot of counter out of that 10 personnel, just like his big brother. That's where he got it from. But yes. At this season, he did it better than his big brother down there at TCU. He'll run some 11 personnel if he has an effective enough tight end. The zone read. This is the craziest thing about Garrett Riley. His zone read and his RPOs look just alike. So as a defensive end, you're just completely in no man's land. But I do have a question for you.
Talk to me.
And Nino, I don't know if you have mental telepathy or what, but you ran right into it. Yes, Clemson scored, I think you said 9 less touchdowns. They averaged 33 points a game, which is 6 points less. But Brandon Streeter did have some success there. We seen we seen a 48 points in the Miami game. We seen a 51 point scored in that thriller in Winston-Salem. How much of this is Dabo Swiney's fault? How much of this is his fault? Dabo Swiney hasn't had the ability to adapt.
He don't adapt. He's like the anti-chameleon, okay? He's just, he's the neon sign in the middle of the night that everybody sees, you can't avoid. The problem is they've invested a lot in Dabo, okay? And Clemson is a program that, like, football in Clemson's big. Football in Texas is bigger, right? Texas A&M don't mind eating the bag to get rid of Jimbo if they had to.
Right.
Clemson minds eating the bag to get rid of Dabo if they had to. Why do you think Garrett Riley's there? Garrett Riley's there to right the wrongs on the offensive scheme. He's in there to tell him, bro, we got to get this portal popping. I know you're against it, but if you want to have longevity and turn this around, we need to do this. I just did this. We just did it in TCU. Look where we were. Like, you mentioned real before I get off. I don't want to go off on a tangent.
No. Please do. We got time today.
You said that you said that his offense opens up lanes. Okay, and Raging Q is a dude that everybody in this community follows, and he's a big Kendry Miller fan. Garrett Riley made Kendry Miller pop this year in his schemes and his offensive play calling. Okay, Kendry Miller's got the style, got the all the skills and the talent to do his thing, but it wasn't there last year, right?
Right.
Like, these numbers weren't there. Riley implements his system. Okay, I got control. Boom. Miller blows up. Okay, and then he just declared for the draft today. So him and Q. Everybody that we questioned that was going to maybe stay, they all declared. So,
right.
But Dabo, the Blue Flames there. Okay. Riley is there. I have this gut feeling. I said to you off camera before we went on, I got a gut feeling Garrett's there to say, bro, he's your possible successor. If you can't adapt and we don't get better. This was they had the best chance, right? If he's gonna go down. They're gonna keep questioning this year. If they played Klubnik, do they go to the playoff, right? Do they make the playoff if they play? Okay. He looked good in one game. He looked another game. He looked 50-50 in the other game. I get it. But DJ had many games where he looked, man. And there was games that he looked great. Now, that Miami game you talk about, bro, please, can we just say that the Miami team after week 3 had called it a season? And defense,
Clemson defense played well that game as well.
Right. They gave up. Okay. They had to keep Mallory in all season to block because that line was like Swiss cheese. Van Dyke was a shell of himself from what he was the previous year. There was no talk for him even being in a 2-round quarterback draft. Like, he was supposed to be up there with Levis and Tanner McGee and all that, and he fell off the map. So, like, the Miami program, once Cristobal saw after week 3 or 4 what he had, he's like, this isn't my style. So I whatever these guys are gonna do, they're gonna do. I'm gonna run them out there, but I know what they're gonna give me. So I don't count that game. The other game, yeah, that's a different story. But Dabo got to adapt. And now they got a little guy in the back of him breathing in the back of his neck a little bit, saying, I know what I'm doing here. And I got a brother knows what he's doing. I got which always looks good for me when I have success and they see the other guy who if he leaves USC in a year or two is probably going to the NFL, right? You know what they say, pedigree, right? I've been with him the whole time. I've learned from him, toolages. Like, Dabo, like we say in P2P, the outhouse might be calling you soon.
Okay. I want to start here. So we continue to say Dabo Swiney refuses to adapt. This is about, and Nino said it in the green room, about as much adapting as you're going to get from Dabo Swiney. He fired a guy in Brandon Streeter who's a Clemson guy. That is a Clemson guy. He played at Clemson. I think it hurts a little bit more, it's one thing if somebody on the street try to fight you. It's a whole nother thing if a family member, somebody that you love, try to fight you. It's just different.
Fall guy.
Yes. He was certainly the fall. He was certainly the fall guy. But you have to look at Clemson, and they rank 157 out of 157 for their movement in the transfer portal. 1 3-star. That's like what the free agency the free agency that we know it was adopted the way it is now in 1993. That's like a team that hasn't used free agency since 1993. I could tell you right here, right now, that team will be a bottom tier team every year. When is enough going to be enough for the AD? When is enough going to be enough for the boosters where they're going to force his hand like, hey, I know you don't like the transfer portal. If you need somebody else to come talk to these players and get some of these marquee, you know how many players would love to play for Clemson? Like, why
do
would
you think he's there? That's a guy that can talk to people in the portal. I
pray that's why he's there. We know what they're going to bring to that offense.
Listen, I wonder if the AD at Clemson is an Oakland Athletics fan. Because I feel like Dabo's like Billy Bean, right? They're playing like the small. We're gonna get this smallest amount. We're gonna pay the smallest amount for this guy because he's the amount we pay him for the talent in his position. He ranks in the top 5. This quarterback, he had draft stock, but he still could possibly do it. The skills, we're gonna squeeze him in there, even though we got a dude behind him. We're gonna squeeze him in there. I'm just tired of him giving excuses about why he doesn't do the NIL. And I'm not saying I'm against religion or anything, but stop using that as a crutch, dude.
Right.
Get off your horse.
Right. We got a message from T-Dub. Shout out to T-Dub. Dabo is the Mark Richt of this time. Only difference is he won chips. That's why he's still there. He loyal to his coordinators. He's trying to change though. Yes, because typically it's just internal promote. I think other than Brent Venables, that was the only like outside hire. Other than that,
right.
He likes his guys.